Hello, good afternoon, Happy New Year. Welcome to the Daily Live, joined by John in the studio. We're going to be on for about half an hour just because Sean Dyche has got his press conference for the trip to Crystal Palace tomorrow. That's at 1:30. So if he doesn't come on till 20 to 2,
we'll totally go.
We'll stay till just before that. So there you go. Talking about
stuff. The
January transfer window was open. We know that Everton, Kevin Thelwell, has been trying to play it down, been very cautious. Oh, we're going to be quiet and all that. I get why he's doing it, but I don't see, I mean, you might think differently, John, but I don't see a world where Everton can not strengthen this window. I know it's difficult and you'd have to do a bit of juggling. Don't expect Everton to buy anyone this transfer window, but we're in a world where we can bring players in on loan. I think Everton have to be actively chasing.
Totally agree. I mean, we talked on it on the live last night, and because I can't remember the guy's name because Ed was in host mode, but it was a good question about, you know, if we do, A, will we? B, which positions type of thing.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I mean, there'll be plenty of commentators, will call them, I suppose, who will say no chance, but we hear that from some people every single window and things still happen. I think loans make most sense, of course, because, you know, we can always produce a Salah as an exception, but there isn't often particularly good value in this window. And if we can move some on at the same time in this window for the same reasons, even if they go out on loan, they lighten the load. There's players there who probably, I mean, you just used Ben Godfrey as an example.
Yeah.
If he feels physically fit and he's got all his challenges behind him, he wants to play. He probably isn't going to, you know, because when the squad's fit, then he's way down the pecking order, I would imagine, isn't he? Whether that's right or wrong is personal opinion stuff. So, but yeah, we do. We need a bit of depth. And we talked last night. Be interested to see what I don't know if you listened, but, you know, we were talking about an alternative for when Doucouré's not around, really, as being one of the places where perhaps we should look for something. And personally, I'm not convinced by we won't buy anyone, but it will be, you know, youngsters with high ceilings will buy, or commitment to buy, like the Chimiti thing. Yeah, we've bought them, but we ain't really paying until July, type of thing.
Well, yeah, there is that. It's just, it is the difficulty, I think. The difficulty just is where we are financially, isn't it? I think that's
always,
that's the worry.
Always.
Steve, we know Mo Salah signed in the summer. John was saying if there's value now, if a Saudi Arabian club, which again have been linked with him today, if they come in for Mo Salah, you would get huge value from him.
Sorry,
as in, he'd score 1 million goals.
Going out.
Yeah, we know that when he comes to Liverpool from Roma, it was the June, I think, wasn't it? Or July. And he played at Wigan, I think, for Liverpool, his first ever game. But that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing is if you've got the opportunity to buy and you can do it within the books, of course, that's great. But we know that a lot of times, I mean, Nikita Jelavic was great value when we bought him from Rangers, as was Papa Cisse. That was 11 years ago. There hasn't been huge impacts in January.
I think the thing for
players.
Kevin is, because he's Kevin now, not Thelwell, isn't he? Yeah.
Well, to you, he's still Thelwell to me until he gets me a couple more exciting players. Yeah.
But the thing for the director of football, right, because the role, not the person, is he should, or the club should reflect in some respects on a very minimal amount of communication makes a huge difference. Because Everton fans are not daft; they're probably some of the most clued in around, really. And you said it as he's playing it down. Well, that's classic, you know. Under promise, over deliver type stuff, but that doesn't work if it sets a bar low. In other words, you know, under promising me like let's open in August 26, 27 sort of thing.
For God's sake.
Is just sets a line, doesn't it? But I'm sure in house, and we've heard some vibes over the last couple of days, haven't we? About, of course, they're doing all the work on. I thought due diligence was a funny phrase.
Very funny phrase.
It's a word people understand, I suppose. But he did say, was it in December when he said it, or something along the lines of, you know, if the players we want are there, we'll have them.
It was for the City game, wasn't it? He'd done the thing for the press.
And walking the talk, they've planned the dive so they can dive the plan now. And we talked about that last night. There's no point knee-jerking. We just lost around the bounce. Let's buy someone. Got to stick to the plan, really.
Well, that's it, isn't it? That's the thing about it, isn't it? A lot of people as well go, with what money? Well, the Everton do have money. Again, it comes down to cash available and if it makes sense. Everton are playing, we all know, are playing with a very different deck at the moment, as we're seeing Nottingham Forest, potentially facing a points deduction. Wolves talking to the Premier League, could have a points deduction even though they've sold players. Teams, we've said it for a while, and we'd name-checked Wolves and Forest, I think, in November.
Ages ago, yeah.
November, it might have been, that we're talking to the Premier League, was information that we'd had, and now it's come out. The thing about it is, the rules are shaped to help their favourite clubs. You can see it whether it's players falling over when there's an open goal to get a penalty or whatever, and yet you see an incident where Everton player has a shirt almost ripped from his back, and the same player does it 3 days later. The other team get a penalty, but Everton didn't, because a lot of decisions at the moment by the Premier League are made to hit Everton hard because we dared to have a go at them. We've seen that all season. Other clubs, Wolves have had it, as Wolves have had, it's funny that, isn't it? A couple of teams who were on the naughty list have been given horrific decisions against them all season.
Bit cynical, Baz.
Well, what it is I try to be less cynical, and people just keep giving me more evidence, and I go, hang on, my head's hurting because it's now.
I'm with you.
It's now almost. They're not even hiding it anymore.
I'm with you.
That's the problem.
We've had this conversation before as well. If you do a Sherlock on it, right, which is, if you've not been bored by me before, when you've excluded everything that isn't, what's left, no matter how unlikely, is the answer. And I said it. I was in your seat last night. I said Martin Samuel nailed it in his article. When he said Master's trick has been to make it not necessary to go to footy matches on the weekend because you know what the result's going to be.
Well, that's it, isn't it? And when journalists are saying it, then you know that there's a... and
you got politicians doing it. And I know Andy Burnham's an Evertonian, but and maybe, I don't know, where there's a crossover between his political world and his sporting world. But the silence out of the Premier League is deafening. And I was talking to you for the people who are listening's benefit just a few moments ago, wasn't I, offline, because I was watching Tony Campari talking to Nottingham Forest fans last night, and winding them up no end, and he was having a field day, really. But the reality was that the stream of Twitter stuff was Forest fans saying things we've been saying for 6 months, a year almost. It's corrupt, it's not fair, it's all designed to satisfy their favourites. What have we done wrong? We're just trying to stay in this goddamn division. All those things, right? And yet, that's the club who wanted to sue us. So clubs need to be careful. And we did you talked about what we said on the channel about Forest and Wolves, but we also said, and there will be others. Chelsea, they've got to do something about Chelsea, because there's no excuse for that taking so long.
It's not even mentioned, though.
Exactly.
City are hand-picking when they want to do
absolutely,
it.
yeah.
But Chelsea, there's no mention.
I took a picture of the league table on telly the other night, only because it had an asterisk against us, because they've even lost that now. It's like it's history. So until these things come in front of mind, the broadcast media forget about them, don't they? And we talked last night about, the rights holders are in a dicky spot, because they've all spent billions.
Yeah.
And they need people to watch the product. And so they default to pushing the product, which is the Premier League. And we talked about, the penalty at Anfield and, and Jota falling over and all that sort of stuff. But they've barely touched it. While the rump of the audience are there, they had 2 advert breaks. And let's look at this penalty now. And then Carragher gets in front of a big screen and tries to prove it was, But all of it prior to then was very much amazing game, best game of the season.
Nonsense.
Liverpool are awesome. Jurgen's lost his ring. He's found it. All that sort of stuff. Because that's for the worldwide audience who take Premier League feed and all that sort of stuff.
From a perspective, Mark Watkins...
I don't have an issue with them. The Premier League doing... Sorry, beg your pardon. The broadcast, Sky, for example, doing whatever they need to do to try and get a return on their investment. but it's the control within the Premier League which is all out of kilter. And again, we talked about this months ago.
Mark Watkinson says, yeah, but we got away with the Decory pull on a Forest player's shirt in the box. Someone, I can't remember who it was, I've seen it the other day, had done a thing with VAR decisions of affected teams. Everton have been affected the most, along with Wolves. I think Wolves are top and Everton was second. So we might have got away with the Decory one, even though Yates pulled this. Even though Yates,
seasons.
But exactly.
One.
Thingy. João Pedro scored his 8th penalty of the season the other night. Everton haven't had 8 in the last 3 seasons. So
we've had one in a season and a half. Yeah.
So I think, I can mention Spurs. Keep going back. Fulham in the cup. We should have had the penalty. We didn't get it. There's been numerous ones.
Are we too naive? We talked about it last night because, of course,
no, because I know people can say, well, he should have gone down when he found.
No, I don't mean going down, but he had his arm on it, so the official result, wasn't it, from VAR or wherever else who did it, was 6 or 1.5.
He didn't look though, John. They said, oh yeah, VAR checked it. You can't check something in 1 second. There wasn't even a stop while he had to look at it.
I don't know because I was in the ground.
No, well, I was watching the thing. But, VAR have looked at it, yeah. Well, funny that, because VAR looked at 3 other things in that game that were nothing. They checked a red card in the first half for an Everton player.
He's seen it.
But the referees don't see it, do they? The Wolves one, the referee, Brighton thingy, they didn't. VAR went and gone as a pull by the same player 3 days later or whatever it was. VAR's nonsense.
The goalkeeper took a Wolves player out and no one even said any. Oh, sorry, another one.
Remember when VAR checked?
One of the treacherous.
Remember when VAR checked whether Michael Keane's goal should have stood on day 1?
Yeah.
No, I don't either, because the referee decided to blow. So we can go there all day long, Mark.
And this is a real issue for Premier League. It really
we can go there all day long, and I think if Everton got the decisions he should have done, they'd be flying near the top of the league, as Wolves probably
10
will.
Points or not.
So without the 10 points. So I think Everton, and we haven't been fouled in the penalty area in 20 games. Really? Is that what we're saying? Really? And Brighton have had 8. And Liverpool have had God. No. Having this conversation, I want to come back onto the transfers because this wasn't what I was going to do. But I was having this conversation with Andy, who was sitting next to him, the other day, and I said to him, I don't even know what our penalty taker is. Every club's, I don't know whether it would be though. I really don't know, because a lot of people, Beto takes a great penalty ever on the pitch long enough. But a lot of teams have penalty takers. And you know they are, because they get 6 or 7, 8 a season. We don't get anything. We do not get penalties. You
could go. Liverpool's penalty taker, Salah. Chelsea.
And he gets a miss 46. Chelsea. I don't know. Cole Palmer this year, yeah, because he's
so you could probably go down and you get. Well, you would. We wouldn't know Everton's for sure. Notwithstanding, we saw them in the cup. Take.
Yeah, but anyone could say. Well, Dominic didn't even take one in the cup.
That's what I mean. So you go with whoever took the first one as perhaps your best.
Better.
Yeah.
So you just said, yeah. So it's one of them, isn't it? It's one of them. You had Dom's pen at Leicester last year. Was that the only one we had, or
yes.
was the? It's
We've had one last season.
It's incredible. It's incredible. So in 58 Premier League games, Everton have been fouled in the box once. And someone said that Chris Beasley wrote this in the Echo the other night. And AL, I don't know whether he is though. He's not on a pitch, he isn't, is he?
Secret conversation.
Yeah, of course. I know Dom takes them, but no, because saying Dom's our penalty taker. Yeah. Well, if he's not on a pitch, he isn't.
It's like Seamus's club captain.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but there was a thing that said, well, the argument would be Everton don't touch the ball in the box as much as Brighton or Liverpool.
That's not true,
Everton are something like 4th for most touches in the box, or 5th, so it's bollocks as well. So you can
think because we do low block stuff, we're never in the other half.
You can turn around and go, yeah, well, there's a reason why, or whatever. But you can come up with any nonsense to try to say why Everton don't have penalties. The reality is there's been a definite instruction from the Premier League this season to PGMOL, and that is you do not give Everton a penalty and VAR, and you also know.
That, by the way,
well, that's okay, but what's the reason then? If you're 5th in the league for most touches in the penalty area. Exactly the same.
Again, we talked about it yesterday. There is bias.
What if he's not on the pitch, AL? I get down, Dommy, but what if he's not on the pitch? And he's not on the pitch a lot, so what if he's not on the pitch?
Just like if Mo Salah goes down,
it's a penalty.
In the box. It used to be. It's not a penalty.
If Jota sneezes and falls over,
I'm going to do him in a minute, yeah. But if Salah goes down in the box, it's a penalty when
Yeah, Damari Gray. We had two last seasons because Damari Gray scored one. In fact, we had 3 last year.
That's the stats I saw, mate.
We had 3 penalties. We had 3 penalties last season because Damari Gray. Because Damari Gray scored the pen in the Brighton game.
Information then,
didn't he? Penalty against Brighton in the 93rd minute at Goodison. I just remembered that.
Yeah, when make it 4-1. Yeah.
Right. Then we got one of Forest.
I thought that was the only one.
No, we got one of Forest in the 2-2 when Decore scored, and then Dom scored at Leicester.
Salah used to be, if he falls over, it's not a penalty because he's a diver. Now it's if he falls over, stone wall.
He still goes down easily. But that's not the... Anyway, forget about it.
There's cognitive bias.
There is 100%. But I was just going to say, in 58 games, we've been fouled once. Well, there you go.
The only team to get a written apology for not being given a penalty against City, the rugby handball.
No, but the team's got... Wolves have had about 4 this season.
It wasn't handball, that, mate.
It ended up not being handball. I think it just brushed his share, in the context of the league. Didn't touch him. Back onto
transfers.
Back onto football.
Penalty takers.
Back onto football. Forget about that.
Don't have to buy penalties.
To be fair, as the Blues says, none of them can take them anyway. The rubbish, aren't they? At Pens, as we saw the other week.
We scored 10
in the shootout.
No, how many did we score? 7. 6, 7.
Beat 7-6, didn't we?
Was it?
Yeah.
So,
we missed 2 of them.
It's done.
We missed 2 of them. Back onto this month. So the manager showed this last season and the coaches that when Decore goes out of this side,
they don't know what to do.
They don't know how to combat it. We lost. We didn't win in the 3 games he was out last season. No. We've lost every game he's been missing from this season, and I include the Fulham penalty shootout in that. I won't mention since someone else come back in the country, we've lost every game, but hey ho. But what do we should absolutely be trying to find a way around this Decore thing right now. It isn't in the club.
No, you're right.
It's not in the football club. He's never gonna. It doesn't seem.
A like for like's not in the club.
Well, there's no like for like.
That's right.
There's no one who plays the position. I haven't seen anyway. Yeah. Who plays the position naturally, apart from at the like.
What would you call the position?
It's not a number 10 because
of the
number 10 you've got to have real. I think number 10's in your mind of real ability. I don't think Decore's got that. I think he's a great worker,
box to box,
and he scores goals. So it's almost a floating midfield player, really. But that's my point, though. We could pick up someone who is a natural number 10. I'm not saying I can name you 5 because I can't.
No. This is where we got to yesterday.
But that's the issue. But what I'm saying is, within the football club, there doesn't seem anyone who can drop into that role naturally. I think it's what I find really strange with the manager is he's not just gone with 2 up front. I find that really, like at Wolves at the weekend, we had Dave and Keith in, and they were at Molyneux on Saturday, as you were.
I was by Dave.
He said he saw you. Yeah. At 2-0, he should have just gone 3-5-2.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe at half time when we weren't in the game, he should have gone 3-5. He should have just gone Dom.
Because I was speaking to you guys on WhatsApp. The players who he brought on when it was too late were warming up at half time, and every signal looking at them.
You said to me, you text me at half time.
I told you they were coming on.
It looks like Gomez is coming on. Yeah. And then you text me.
Gomez and Coleman. Yeah.
So really, what I thought he should have done was at 1-0 gone. Like they're still overrunning us. Even with the way we're playing, because he was playing.
It was supposed to be 3, but it was 5, wasn't it?
It was 5 at the back. It was 5-4-1. He was playing essentially, and yet they were still overrunning us in midfield. So we should have really just gone. Tell you what, I'll go bog standard Championship manager 97-98 mode 3-5-2, and pushed our wing backs up, shoved Beto alongside Dominic.
That's what we thought they were going to.
Yeah, but the line up of the team didn't allow that, did it? Yeah. He should have gone right. This is what we're doing. And he could have he should have just threw Beto alongside Dom and gone, right, let's see what Dawson and the others have got at the back. Let's just go along. They've got control of the midfield.
Modest pressure showed that they don't cope with it.
And the minute, even in the first half, in moments, we put them under pressure by just getting at them.
Yeah.
And we saw Dom should have scored at 1-0, just hit it early. When we got in, the one he put wide wasn't off.
Flag went up.
It wasn't when he looked again, he was miles outside. His run was from,
so it would have been given.
The goal, his run was from before. Yeah. We've had opportunities. He should have just gone 3-5-2. Let's bang it long. Let's get. I couldn't understand
why he took so long.
Well, I couldn't understand why he didn't do it against City at 2-1.
Yeah.
He had Dom stripped at 1-1. And he done that thing he does, which is just replace 1 for 1. And yet at Burnley, I know Ashley Barnes would drop into midfield a little bit, but just go 3-5. You've got 3 centre-backs on the pitch.
They must run the scenario.
I know, but you know it was really funny, right?
They must have. They sit round in equivalent of a boot room.
I found this really funny on Saturday at Spurs, right? You were in the ground, you won't have seen it. Ned, you might have seen this. You know when Ghana went down, the Trisha Ghana gay, right? They called Godfrey back from warming up, right? He called Gomez back, and was it Beto, right? And they didn't know what to do. And he's talking to Stone and Wone, right? And he said, you seen him, it was on him. He went like that, he went, what else should we fucking do? That was his thing. What else are we going to do?
So
like
he said he's going to do something.
So they might have said, they might have gone, put Godfrey on, or put
whatever.
And he was like, we're putting Gomez on. And they must have gone,
well,
are we sure? And he went, what else are we going to fucking do? Like that.
Yeah.
So that, and that's, I'm not even going Sean Dyche.
No.
What I'm saying is, the opportunity to make those changes within the team simply aren't there. And what he's saying is, well, we've got a player who's gone off. We'll drop James Garner back and put Gomez there. What else can we do? So that gave me a big light bulb, as if to go,
he's a like for like.
He's looking, but not even that. Just he must just be looking and going, no one else can do. Like, I can't put Beto on because it'll totally change what we're doing. Putting Ben Godfrey on wouldn't have helped the City. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he completely changed. Going with 3 and with Keane in the team, you know, he can have a good game. We know that. But he is an accident consistently waiting to happen, right? And, you know...
Let me know if you were watching and you saw him saying that to Stone and Wone.
I might have been in Florida, but started with Michael Keane coming back into the team.
No, but what I'm saying is, in that thing, he looked and it was right in on the thing, and he was like, what else am I going to do?
So you could
do you know what I mean?
And a great lip
no, we're clear. It was on him. And I was like, said to me, Dad, he's just said, what else
when
am I
get home
do?
now...
So I didn't know what he was I was thinking, what would they say?
When I get home, I'm going to...
Try and dig it out.
Delete.
See if you've seen it.
It'll be in the 90 minutes on the website.
Yeah, if they can, let me know if you saw that from Sean Dyche quickly. Let me know if you saw him saying to Stone and Wone, what else are we going to do? Because I just thought, this isn't having a go at Sean Dyche. This is him looking and going, what options have I got here? Do you know what I mean?
You want one of his coaches to say, no, when we were planning the dive.
Yeah, Adam said that, wasn't he? Definitely said.
Yeah.
Because the camera, you know the way normally it was right in on him.
Oh, right.
We were having the discussion. And maybe they were going, we'll put whoever on. And he's like...
That's why you plan the dive.
But if he hasn't,
when you're in the water.
But if he hasn't got it, this is what I'm saying. And this is done.
Look, they wouldn't have a debate. If they planned the dive, they wouldn't have the debate because they'd say, if this happens, we do that. If this happens, we do that.
But if he hasn't got it, that's what I'm saying. If he had the core, he had the core there.
No, I get that.
He'd go, well, this is what we'll do.
I get that, but he hasn't.
No.
So he has to have the scenario.
So this is what I'm saying now.
If we go down, 2-1 down or 2-0 down, whatever, because he wouldn't change it at 1-0, would he? Because he's the sort of thing,
well, this was at Spurs. This was an injury.
No, it doesn't matter which game it is.
This was an injury, though, so it was like...
No, I get that.
He's not making the change on 22 minutes,
No,
is he?
No. But you've got to have your scenarios. Because in the moment, you say something like, what the fuck else are we supposed to do? Well, we do what we said when we were sitting in the boot room with a cup of coffee, really calm. We said we'd do this. Let's do it then.
But this is my point. The whole point is...
That's a bit concerning.
This is why...
It is what it is.
Well, this is why we have to do something this month. It doesn't wash with me, the director of football coming out going, oh, you know, we're going to have a quiet month because I don't think it's acceptable.
We're okay with what we've got.
I've seen this, you know, Joe Thomas put something like this.
That's fundamentally what he said.
Increasing confidence in the club that Everton have got enough. What's that?
Don't know.
You should be looking to strengthen every single transfer window, right? And that might be, but strengthen them for 5 months.
Listen. Yeah.
Have you found it?
Good man, just give us a sec. But the mantra, you know, plan the dive, you know, dive the plan.
Michael said he might have been saying, and we having them Chinese or an Indian afterwards.
Yeah, you can't lip read as well as you. Yeah, but plan the dive, you know, dive the plan.
Yeah.
If the director of football, someone somewhere is briefing, and it won't be him, well, it'll be some PR guy, right? But saying to Joe, which turns into an article from Joe, saying, increasing confidence within the club that we're good with what we've got. Really? So you've discounted any chance whatsoever from improving your squad in January? If that's the case, tell us.
Well, that to me, though, also is piss poor.
I totally agree.
It's piss
because you
poor.
should be striving. You know my view on this, and I think Kevin and the team and what have you, they had a good summer window in the sense of how they managed to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not very good hands, so to speak. But remember my criticism, and it will stand forever. That he said we can't plan too far ahead because of the situation we're in, and I said that's balderdash because it's. The amount of money you have or have not got is just one of the variables that goes into a plan.
Yeah.
Right? And if they have almost go back to cognitive bias again, if their view is we haven't got any money, therefore we probably can't make the squad better, therefore we're going to have a quiet January, they're not doing the job.
No.
Right? If that's how they're choosing to present it to the fan base,
Which is fine.
Well, dampening down expectation is fine, but not like that, because we're talking about it in a critical way rather than listen. January isn't a great window, blah, 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 blah. We know what we've got to spend. We know what we need. If the right players come along, that's what we'll do.
And
they've said that as well, which is contradictory to the other one. So the messaging needs to be joined up.
I think what I'm looking for.
Interestingly, one of those two things is like direct quotes from his bloggy thing.
Yeah.
The other one is a journalist getting briefed. So there's lots of Chinese whisper opportunities.
No, of course. Listen,
did Joe mishear what he was told? Did the person who presents it didn't present it quite as they meant, or whatever?
No, I think for me, the reason why I think they have to, and this is a little bit like we said this before and it didn't happen. We said it a year ago and said they have to bring it forward in, and they didn't. They brought Ellis Sims back.
Yeah.
Right? And that's no disrespect. And Ellis Sims actually got us a huge point at Chelsea, so it worked.
Yeah.
He got us a point. He won us a point, didn't he?
Doesn't score for Coventry.
Got 2 at the weekend.
Yeah, no.
So, fair play.
No, that was sarcasm.
And Tom Cannon got 2 on his full Leicester debut the other day.
Does well with assists, does Ellis, yeah.
Well, he is what he is. But what I'm saying is we have to... It's that glaring. To me, it isn't a case of... like going, we could do with a winger this, because we could absolutely do with a fast winger.
That was the other player we ended.
No, but that's
the other role, isn't
right?
it? If you like,
it isn't just about that.
And we need a left back.
You have to look.
We need that.
You have to look now and say, right, we absolutely don't know what we're doing once the Corey goes out, because we haven't got another.
That's unacceptable.
Right, the Corey could come back and snap something and be out for the rest of the season, and that means we're like that then. In a season,
single point of failures are risks.
So therefore,
he's got dodgy knees. Anything could happen.
No, well, he could get sent off again.
Then he's a quick healer. Blah blah blah.
I know, but you can't play.
But if they're calculated risks, that's a big one, because we know the binary impact him being in the team has.
And what you do is, it's like having one goalkeeper and going, Jordan never gets injured, so we don't need Virginia or Lonergan, because he never gets injured. And then lo and behold, he goes and gets injured, and you end up playing a centre back. You wouldn't do that, would you?
Of course not.
So. That
not
to
quite
me,
the same, but I know what you mean.
No, but it is though.
I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing.
It is though, right? It is in terms of we can't replace the Corey because we don't.
We're not a one-man team.
We don't. Well, quite clearly we are, because
no, we shouldn't be.
No, but that's a different thing, John.
Well, that's why I said
we just won 4 on the run with them. The minute the kid drops out the team, we've lost every game.
But that's mental as well.
And if he drops back in, we start winning again.
That's mental as well, isn't it?
Well, whatever it is. What I'm saying is,
which has the biggest impact mentally on our team? We could pick the goalkeeper, because I think Michael Keane being in the team really damages what goes on.
But Michael Keane wasn't in the team against Fulham, and he wasn't in the team. You know, he's come in because he's had to come.
I understand, right? But there will be mental impact on Michael Keane being in the team, on the players around him, and there's a mental impact around the players around Decore, isn't there? And but if, as it appears, and there's a clip somewhere, if the manager don't know what to do, the players know he doesn't know what to do as well. So they must have almost like a percent comes off their mental state just because Decore's injured. So you've got to have an alternative.
I just think you have to. You cannot go the rest of the season.
I'm with you.
We need something, and it might, like I've said, right? It mightn't be a like for like, because I don't know whether there is another like for Abdoulaye Decore. I don't. But it might be someone who's used to playing off the striker, and he might have a totally different skill set. He might be someone who keeps the ball. He might be someone who can beat a man and thread a little through ball. It might be someone who likes shooting from 30 yards.
Sure.
It gives you a different opportunity.
I get it.
Because what we're seeing at the weekend was Beto up front. When he come on, no one near him. When Dom was on, you'll have seen it.
Totally.
That first hand, totally isolated.
Yeah.
He's having to control balls on his head and what then run a play. It's never going to happen because no one generally runs off Dominic Calvert-Lewin other than Decore.
Yeah.
And at home, Decore doesn't do it, which is why he's not as effective.
Yeah.
Away, he does it brilliantly. We just don't have anyone. So therefore, it changes totally the way we play.
From...
And that's a frustration.
And clearly it was an accumulation, right? And Wolves being the worst one.
Yeah.
But they went from a tight unit who all knew their jobs to looking like strangers.
We were, I don't like saying this, but we were running on empty at the weekend.
Well,
you could see that. And I know Wolves had played 3, but Everton had played 4. You know, when Everton had 4 tough games in 11 days, Wolves had 3 in a week, yeah. The other thing as well is a couple of Wolves fans who were sound in the comments, they were you know, really think they were just saying, "Oh, our players we've only got a small squad." And it's like, yeah, you might have a small squad. Your manager makes 5 subs a game.
Yeah.
Ours doesn't.
That's right.
Ours hates making subs really because, and again, this probably falls back to who I can trust. He might have 9 subs, but he looks and goes, "I've really only got 2 players.
Them. What else
I've
can
got
I
2
do?
or 3
What
players."
else can I do? Those 7 games in December, 5 of them, the teams we played had a longer rest than us before the game.
Yeah, we know that.
So that accumulates.
I mean, it's great. Liverpool had a game on the Saturday, a game on Boxing Day, and then 8 days off. You know, and this is the thing. And I'm not having a go with Liverpool. I'm just saying that's how those fixtures work, didn't it? They had a big chunk of games
briefly
off.
to put the business head.
7 days off.
Yeah. When you talk about, you know, we have to do something. What you're effectively saying, if I put words in your mouth, is we need to get somebody in this window who can fill, not necessarily on a like-for-like basis, but fill in for the absence of Decore if Decore is absent, right? What I'm doing when I look like perhaps I'm arguing with, because I agree with that, so I'm not arguing with you at all, is I want to avoid a thing from 40-odd years of business where there's difference between excuses and reasons. And that Dice thing, and I don't know if he has found a clip, but I'd like to see it if only offline. Right?
No, but he'll show you. You're not going to put it on here.
Is I don't want someone to go, "Oh, yeah, but Decore got injured." That's an excuse.
No, John, I want a situation.
Not you.
No,
them,
I want a
whoever they are.
I want a situation where Sean Dyche is going, Decore's not playing very well today. Sub.
That's the point. I'm not. That's
what I want
because I'm going to put this guy in.
I mean, someone's mentioned Emmy Smith-Rowe not being now. He's not playing at Arsenal.
That's true.
He's a lad who can play wide. He is someone who can play through the middle. He runs with the ball all day. Go and test
Coming
the
on
water.
off the bench, isn't he?
Well,
not getting many minutes.
Arteta might go, you know what, let's throw him to Everton. Because they've got to play a lot of our people, a lot of opponents who are around us. It'll help
imminently.
them. Something what Jose Mourinho used to do. He'd look and go, I'm not going to use him, but he'll damage some other teams.
Yeah.
He'll get games in the Premier League. Then Arsenal can make a decision on him in the summer.
Yeah.
He might want to come, he might not. But he's someone who Everton could try and get. Definitely.
Yeah.
Ask the question.
That's a good shout.
Someone's mentioned. Someone's mentioned Arda thingy at Real Madrid because he's fit again. Phone Carlo up. Go and try him. Go and try everyone. Go and ask players who are sat on benches with a Euros coming up.
Happy Christmas. Have a boss day.
Yeah, got a late Christmas card.
Is that you on the cover?
Looks. It's mate Sean. They've blowed Sean up a little bit here. A dice-tastic new. Who's it from?
Oh, someone's going to have to tell us.
Okay, if you've sent us this Christmas card, who is it? Thank you very much.
Who is it from?
Merry Christmas and a dice-tastic New Year, which is fun. I mean, you've definitely given him a glow up there. He looks sharp. Oh, what? What a... What?
Out the pink echo from April 29th, 1986.
Get that framed.
Look at that. That is tremendous.
Two-sided glass we need.
Liverpool and Everton on the thing. I mean, it's at Belfield, so therefore it should be Everton, Liverpool, but and we are alphabetical order. Reece Nelson's another one. Absolutely, I'd be all over that. Go to Mikel and say, listen, bounce us a player on loan.
And
We'll take Liverpool at Goodison with one of your players.
Yeah.
And we'll take Villa in a couple of weeks and we'll give you a helping hand. And they're the ones you try for. You're never going to get them permanently, but they might do a job. Someone like Smith-Rowe needs minutes and regular game. Nelson, I think, would be a cracking one because he plays off the right or off the left. He's energetic. I think he'd be really good. Don't know about Jesse Lingard. Doesn't strike me as a Sean Dyche. Ironically, he's exactly the type of player we need because he plays in that role and can get goals.
Yeah. Again,
Is he the type of character we need? I'm refraining from that, but let's go and ask.
He's in an interesting stage in his career. You know, him and his agent presumably have held their ground on how much he wants to get paid, and no one's interested.
No. And at the end of the day, by the time Dyche got him fit, it'd be about 3 months. But
well, that's what Ped was saying. He has to be fit, yeah.
But certainly the other. Go and ask the question at these clubs. Go and ask Carlo who he's got knocking around. Go and ask Mikel Arteta and say, listen, we'll give Premier League minutes to these players. You make your decision on them in the summer.
Yeah.
Give us a go. Try for those players. You get one of them in, it gives you a huge boost. It gives the club a fresh face, excuse me, coming into the squad for the players as well. Imagine if they got someone like Reece Nelson or Smith Rowe from Arsenal. Gives the whole place a boost, gives the fan base a boost. And I think given a little bit of that
tweaking,
extra little edge, then you get the core. And all of a sudden, we're all like, come on,
we can
get
do
the
this.
game. Someone who picks the ball up and excites it. It gives the opportunity, if it was Reece Nelson, to give McNeil a little. Dwight McNeil's having to cope with all sorts off the pitch at the moment, physically. His partner looks like she's been ill and all that. That's a terrible thing to have to cope with, as well as playing game after game, the pressures. Jack Harrison, I think, has done well for Everton. Looks knackered.
God knows how many clicks he's run.
You know, Dan Zuma, it doesn't look like he's a viable option. So I don't know what we do with that. We have to have a little look with that and go, right, let's freshen this up a little bit. Give the manager the opportunity to look and go, I've got 2 or 3 choices I can make here. No, I've got one choice to make here, and that's it. And I can't put him on.
He needs to be bold with what he's
but he don't listen. Can Sean Dyche improve 100%? Is he too
cautious?
Absolutely, he is. But he's done a lot of good stuff as well.
Absolutely.
But you have to give him all the tools.
You do.
And you go. I said this with Frank Lampard, whether people like them or not. He did also have no tools either. It was a team without a centre forward, and we didn't give him one. So we are going to have to push the envelope a bit. And the recruitment team in Thelwell did well in the summer with what they had. Now go and earn your stripes again this January.
Your reputation's always in the next window, not the last one.
They should have been planning this from...
Well, they have. I'm sure they have.
Well, good. So Smith Rowe and Reece Nelson are 2 that you should be banging. Mikel Arteta should have 17 calls today from Thelwell. Yeah. Or whoever. Edu at Arsenal, isn't it? He should have 17 phone calls today. And then 11 tomorrow. And then 19 the day after. And go, listen, I'm not being funny. We will make him a better player. We'll get him fit. We'll give him minutes. He can damage your opponents. Go down the Marino route. Go to Pep and say, you know that Oscar Bob fella who's boss, but you're not really going to play him. We'll play him every week. He'll get minutes every game for us in the Premier League, and he might damage your opponents, blah, de blah. If not him, try for Hamilton.
But that's, you see, what you're describing is the sell, right? Because I'm sure that the recruitment team and Kevin and whoever, they all know those players that would fit the profile. They may have cognitive bias, says we'll never get in, we'll never. So they
That's
don't.
The bleeding question.
So they don't go to the well. And we need to do a business thingy sometime soon, I guess. But the business example is that. When we've talked on the business stuff, and we said you send your
hit the like button, subscribe. By the way,
salespeople off that way to generate revenue.
Yeah,
and you tell your delivery people, go that way and reduce cost. Yeah, and you try and create a gap called profit. We should be, and I don't know whether Kevin can do this, or there's no one at the club if Kevin can't, lean on the manager to extract more from what he's got available. Stop saying you haven't got enough, because that's someone else's job, and then lean on somebody else to help him. You know what I mean? So you get two bites at making the world a better place. And you know, if you don't ask, you don't get. And it has to be a sell, and you've just done the sell 3 or 4 times, and I hope that's what the club do. They speak to Mikel Arteta and say, we can damage your competitors, we can make your player better, because Dyche is a different kind of manager to you. He's all about effort and commitment and structure and You're about creativity, being the best player you can, all that. Put those 2 things together, we'll send back a better player than you sent to us.
Absolutely.
We will send you back a better player.
100%. And then you do what you will with them.
So,
and if you get to the summer and go, actually, we're not that bothered about him, then we might be able to pay your amortised thing. You mean
All
Mike
that
Dendle?
stuff, yeah.
You've got all of
I
that.
think part of that needs to be also, and I don't know how they double team this, because when you're doing it in business terms, you decide who matches up.
Yeah.
The person to speak to Arteta is Deitch.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And
But you've got to
convince-
get in the room first.
Well,
haven't
yeah, but if Deitch does it, and they had their Zoom thing, but I don't know how, if and when they ever actually physically talk to each other, other than at games. If Deitch has a side chat with an Arteta or another manager,
Yeah.
and says, "Are you going to play him? Because we could use him. We could da-da-da-da-da." Right? If they have an agreement,
Yeah.
Deitch talks to Kev and says, "Go ring Edu up." He'll be receptive. Or he's told me no chance, he wants him on the bench, whatever.
No, well, that's it, isn't it?
And that's your qualification, isn't it?
But I think it's if Thelwell goes first, would speak to Deitch, go first and all that.
Yeah. Because when they talked, however it came out about due diligence, I would have actually been dead impressed if that word wasn't due diligence, it was qualification. I.e., can we get that person?
Well, that's it.
Can we get
But
that
you should
player?
never... You should be thinking, of course we can get them. You should never be thinking the zero.
Well, you have to be objective.
You ask the question.
Don't
You
ask, don't get.
You ask the question.
Yeah, don't ask, don't get.
You ask the question.
Yeah.
Says Arteta is no fan of Everton. Well, I think that begs to
Once
differ.
Everton has touched you.
Exactly. Well, he's constantly going on about Everton, and how much it means to him. So I'm not convinced.
The
with that
passion
one.
play that comes out of him on the touchline and some of the emotional interviews is exactly what you can tap into a sell that says, if you're not going to use that player, we will, and we could potentially help you indirectly.
Trekking says, lads, shouldn't we be more concerned about our latest set of financial records just gone in? All this is pointless if we get done again. We won't get done again.
No.
Not concerned in the slightest.
No.
Yeah.
Not
so,
worry about there.
It's yes, he says, terms of importance. Yeah. Left back, attacking mid, right back, centre back, centre forward. I don't think a left back is number one at all. And I don't think a
It's a
right
wish
back.
list.
No, a
Yeah.
right back isn't either. You've got three right backs at the
Yeah,
club.
absolutely.
It's a right winger and an attacking midfielder. They're the only two positions we need. In the
Totally
summer,
agree.
yeah, a left back, absolutely, an attacking left back to put pressure on Michalenko. Everything else is just things like a centre forward. We've got three at the club. What do we need another one for? So, no. And a centre back, we've got about 13 centre backs. We don't need another
We need
one.
to shed centre back. No.
Yeah. But
Bring
yeah.
the lad back from Forest Green, haven't we? Yeah.
Reece Welsh.
Yeah.
Reece Welsh is coming back.
He only went probably 'cause
Holgate's
Duncan-
coming back.
Yeah, Holgate will come back, but he'll be in transit, won't he?
Holgate's gone to Rangers.
Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah.
They want him.
Just be in transit.
They
yeah.
want him, and Reece Welsh will be gone as well.
Yeah.
They want
To
him.
Rangers.
No, not to Rangers. No, to another thingy, another striker. Connor, yes, Dublin Toffees is right. Connor, good luck for the season.
No
All
one's
the
fessed
best.
up to this then.
No one's fessed up to that. So, yeah. There you go. Right, we're gonna go.
Where's
Ned,
Sean?
we're waiting for Sean Deitch. He'll be on.
We got this clip.
Ned, 2:30. We going for MSAG 2:50. Will it be done?
Assuming Sean's
Right,
finished.
2:15 on More Than a Game. Get over there. We'll be talking. Me and Ped will be doing our top 5 things of 2023 on that. He doesn't know, but now he's got half an hour to choose things like the team of 2023 and things like that. And we'll be looking at all the transfers because the transfer window is open. So there you go. Get over there with your transfer requests and who you want to sign, who you think will move this window. Ned, are you putting the link in here? Or is it? Yeah, okay. So just go over to More Than a Game
It'll be
YouTube
there
channel
waiting for
at
you later.
2:15. It'll be in the community posts here. Go and subscribe to it as well if you're there. Let's do it. Let's do it. Right, there's Sean Deitch. So we will see you at 2:15 on More Than a Game. See you in a bit. Bye.